Now to the Women's FA Cup final, the domestic treble secured for Chelsea. They beat Arsenal 3-0 in the FA Cup final, delayed from last season, to complete the clean sweep. Fran Kirby scored the opener, followed by 2 goals from Sam Kerr.
I think to win a treble, and I have to say quadruple domestically, because we won the Community Shield, is the biggest achievement. It isn't just about winning today, it's winning everything from last year. I think today ranks as that.
Well, I wouldn't argue with Emma. So quadruple domestic treble, call it what you will, Sue, but whichever way you look at it, how special is it?
Oh, it is really impressive, and I think when you look at the squad of players that Chelsea have, you know, they've got a real depth in quality. You only have to look at the bench yesterday in terms of Pernille Harder was on the bench, Beth England, who probably would get into any side. So she's got the options to bring off the bench to change things if she needs to. But I think where we have to praise Emma Hayes is the fact that she can keep all of these players happy. Tactically, she's so astute, she's so aware, she can change things within a game if they need to. And I just think it's so impressive that, yes, she's got a great bunch of players, but the way that she keeps them all together, that real good team spirit, the players want to stay there, want to play for her. And the performance yesterday was outstanding from start to finish. Yeah,
it really looked like Arsenal had laid down a marker with that opening day win, didn't it, over Chelsea? So how disappointed will they be?
I think they'll be so disappointed because you looked at Arsenal this season and it was between Arsenal and Chelsea. Manchester City have obviously had the blip this year with all of the injuries and the sort of level of performance has dropped. But those two have been so good, and Arsenal just didn't turn up yesterday. I was so excited for the cup final. I was thinking this is the best 2 teams in the Women's Super League. It's going to be such an exciting game. It's going to be a tight game. And like I say, straight from the off, Chelsea just took the game to Arsenal and Arsenal couldn't cope with them. And all of those players that we've been praising each week didn't really turn up. The midfield, who's been excellent for Arsenal, the front line didn't really have a kick. And we have to praise Chelsea and what they did to stop Arsenal from playing, whether it was the occasion, whether it was just one of those days, or do we just praise Chelsea in terms of they were just absolutely brilliant on the day?
Fran Kirby, Sam Kerr then. Just how good is this partnership?
Yeah, it's outstanding. And I think when Sam Kerr came to the WSL, I think we all thought, you know, is she going to adapt? Is she going to adapt quickly? We all knew she was a top quality player internationally. And it took her a little bit of time. She had a few chances that she was missing, a few one-on-ones. And then as soon as she adapted to the WSL, she has never looked back. And the link up between her and Fran Kirby. Fran Kirby obviously had a horrible illness. She's come back from that. And she's probably, I think Emma Hayes has actually said that, she's probably playing her best football at the moment. And the way that those two just seem to know what each other are doing. We used to speak about Son and Kane and how they had this sort of telepathic relationship. Those two are exactly the same. You know, one drops deep, the other one goes. And the quality in terms of goals, in terms of assists, they are 2 of the best strikers in the world right now.
Yeah, out of this world, Emma Hayes called them. Fair comment?
It is a fair comment, yeah, because they are. And when they are on form like that, they're so difficult to stop because of the movement, because obviously they've got other players that you have to look at as well. You know, you throw in Pernille Harder in there, you throw in, Jessie Fleming. There's so many other players that you have to mark within a Chelsea side. But those 2 are certainly key to the way that Emma wants to play. And I think the other thing, we talk about flair players and attacking players, their quality going forward, but it's also the work rate that they do off the ball, which is important to how Chelsea want to play.
Yeah, she said there's no time to party, though, Emma Hayes, because it's Juventus on Wednesday. How difficult will that game be?
It's funny because Sam Kerr actually said in her interview she's made up with the result and it's time to party. So I think Emma Hayes straight away said there's no partying. We have to go and focus on this.
There's only going to be one winner there, isn't there? No party.
Definitely no party. And yes, it's going to be a difficult game. We know that Juventus are a good side. But I think, like I say, the quality that Chelsea have, it's all about now just recovering from that cup final, because you're on such a high, because it was such a good performance, such a good game. But you then have to refocus. So they will have enjoyed last night, but now it's about the focus for the Champions League, because that's a trophy that Emma Hayes is desperate to win, so she knows that this is another important game on their journey for that.
Yeah, how fascinating will it be to see how Arsenal respond? I mean, they're still top.
Yeah.
But is this now advantage Chelsea in the WSL psychologically?
I suppose because Arsenal beat them the opening day of the season and they looked so strong, and they have looked so strong this season. I think sometimes you just have to put it down to it was a bad performance. It wasn't the Arsenal that we've seen all season. They've got top quality players, they've got international players, they've got winners in that team that they will have been absolutely devastated at how they played yesterday, and they'll want to be putting that right in the WSL, and that's their focus. Their focus is to go and win it. And Jonas Eidevall's come in and he's made such a difference in that Arsenal side. Yes, they can still play that lovely possession-based football through the thirds, but he can also play different. He can play direct. So he's mixed things up a bit, and he's made Arsenal difficult to play against because of that aggressive press and that energy that he's brought to the side. So he'll just go back to that. I think Leah Williamson's a huge loss for them. She was the centre half that not only defensively very good, communicates to everybody around her, but it's also she builds from the back, and I think they really missed that yesterday. So she's going to be a huge loss moving forward, but Arsenal will certainly move on from this.
Yeah, because you said sort of during it was hard to work out whether Chelsea were just really, really good, or Arsenal were having an off day.
Yeah, and I think that was the difficult thing to see, because Chelsea, like I say, started so well. They were so disappointed with that opening game of the season. They wanted to make sure that they showed how good they were in this game, and they did. But yeah, Arsenal would just individually off it, like say the players that we've praised again and again just weren't quite at it, but also collectively as a team, defensively not quite there, going forward maybe a little bit sloppy at times, but then Chelsea were pressing and making it difficult for them to go forward, and when they went forward they showed their quality and their pace and their movement off the ball. So I think it was a combination of the two.
Yeah, Sunday 13th of February I think it is, Chelsea Arsenal in the WSL. Now that will be a good one.